McCRAY, like as he said, I'm here from Florida. I was born and raised there. I went to college at the University of Florida. Now I'm an NFL, American football player, playing the NFL now. This is my 6th season, going on my 7th season. I just kind of want to talk to you guys a little bit before I start my presentation, just about what it took for me to get here. Now I would say, pride was the most important thing for me to get to where I'm at. And I kind of fragmented that to kind of give you guys an explanation on what I mean by pride. To get to where I'm at, I started playing football at 10 years old, and I've been playing ever since. It took a lot of perseverance to get to the NFL because you deal with a lot of stuff on a day-to-day basis. You never know what tomorrow may bring, and I always say, as a great coach once told me, don't count the minutes, make the minutes count. So you have to persevere through a lot in order to get to where you want to get, and I end up reaching my goal and getting to the NFL, which I had told my mother that I wanted to do at 10 years old. I told her at 12 years old that I would make it to the NFL, and I kept that belief, and I persevered through a lot. Also, you have to go through ridicule. Ridicule is a big thing in football. As you guys very well know, as coaches, that there's some players you like and there's some players you don't like. And you may be an asshole to some of the players, and then you may be nice to some of them. So you have to deal with a lot of ridicule along your journey in the football world. You can't get too high on a coach or you can't get too low on a coach, because coaches, they aren't your destiny, but they can help you get to where you want to get in the football world. As you guys very well know, the football circle is very small, so you have to deal with ridicule, but you have to handle it professionally as a man, and kids got to learn that from an early age. And also, you want to innovate. You have to be innovative in football, because football is forever transforming. The game is different now than it was 50 years ago. They used to run power eye, smash mouth football with Franco Harris and all these guys, all the greats, Earl Thomas and all the greats. Well, Earl Campbell, I'm saying Earl Thomas, Earl Campbell. But you got to kind of be innovative as a player and as a coach. You got to adapt with the game. And also, you have to be disciplined. No format, no championship, no success in the game was ever done without discipline. And what I mean by discipline is doing everything that you learn here, is doing it outside of here once you leave. Because right now, while we all together, everybody's hoorah, let's go, let's go get, I'm ready for the season. I learned so much from each individual coach. And they're I'm ready to go. But you have to take what you learn from everybody and tie it into what you know and what you learn and do it outside when nobody's watching. Because all great coaches, they work overtime. Bill Belichick, I haven't seen anybody work as hard as Bill Belichick. When I was coming out for the combine, and when I was getting ready for the NFL draft, he was the only coach that actually came and sat down and watched film with us as players. Just how you guys just watch film with this coach, Bill Belichick, he came and watched film with us and asking us, breaking down film, hey, what happened on this play? And it wasn't our good plays. And that's why I say you have to take ridicule. He sat you down what were you thinking? Why did you do that? And that's what it takes to be successful in this game. You have to put in the hours. And also you have to have divine destiny. Because nothing in this world can happen without God Almighty. God Almighty he's Him. He's everything. And if you don't have Him, you cannot live I don't know how faithful you guys are in this room, but I just know, because I stand on the Word. And the Word has got me to where I'm at. It's not anything that I did. I've used the tools that God gave me, but He put me in this position to be where I'm at. And I wouldn't say, I would not give Him acknowledgement of that. And the last thing is effort. Effort is probably one of the most important things in the game of football. Without effort, you can't do anything. You really can't do anything in life. You have to put effort in, and I would say extra effort to be successful in the game. But that's kind of my thing, what I took to heart to get to where I'm at, to be successful, and it's still instilled in me, and I use that every day on a day-to-day basis. It's not wearing pride of being an egocentric person or saying trying to put yourself above guys. You won't have success in football unless you work with somebody. Nobody has success on their own. No one. So, I mean, you guys have to work together as a team, and what makes a great coach, I believe, is making the guys around him better and listening to his guys, and they all feeding off of each other and learning from each other. But I just kind of want to get to, you know, like our schedule, like these are some of my highlights, and my highlight was winning the Super Bowl for me. That's what my highlight was of my career so far. And the reason I still play is not because of the money. I play because I want to win another championship, and I want to win another one. Like, I just want to play until I can't play anymore, but I play to win championships, not because of money. I play for the love of the game. But like a daily life in the NFL, it goes as follows. Like, we come in on Monday, in season. This is our in-season schedule on what we're gonna go down. I gotta go down my in-season schedule. Breakfast is served starts at 6 o'clock in the morning. It's pretty much mandatory after a game, just because like nutritions are very important after a game. I know you guys you deal with a little bit different, but you still have to make sure your players eat the right meals in order to prevent injuries. You have to make sure injuries are prevented, and nutrition is a very important part of that. Then we have injury check for guys that are injured. They may have missed time in the game, or they may have had a little sprain, but they're still able to practice that week. They all have to check in for injury check. And you got practice squad and inactive list. I don't know how many of you guys know, but the NFL roster is 53-man active. It's an 53-man active roster. Well, the practice squad consists of 8 players. So it's 61 players total active on the team. And then on game day, only 46 guys get to dress. So out of the 53 players, only 46 get to dress. So that leaves 7 guys inactive for a game. And that would be, they will lift with the practice squad on Monday. And you got the bigs and combos will come in and lift after the game, depending on how many reps we take. The bigs and combos, the bigs consist of all the linemen. So we all live together, offensive line, defensive line. Then you have the combos, which would be the tight ends and the linebackers. We all live together. We run, stretch, and recover on Mondays. And you have the skills, which are the DBs and the wide receivers. They live after us, adjacent to us. Then we all have lunch. And on Monday, we'll go to a team meeting and pretty much just like we will go over everything from the game, whether it's a win or a loss. Did we meet our objectives for that week? So if we won, and one of the defensive objectives was to not let them rush over 100 yards. We held them to 87 yards rushing. We met that objective, and that's the reason why we lost. Coach gives us objectives on what he thinks can help us win each game. And we will go through that, even if we lost, and then we will go and we'll split from that, and then we'll go as an offense and a defense. We'll split, and our offensive coordinator, he will go over what he felt like they need to do. And most of the time in Jacksonville, we center our offense around Leonard Fournette. So if Leonard Fournette rushes for over 100 yards, we have a 90% chance to win the game. So that's why he had so much success running the ball. That's why they fed him the ball pretty much the entire game. They fed him 30, 40 carries. Because that was just an awesome statistic that we had in Jacksonville. And we'll go to special teams. Our special teams coach, like I'm kind of going to be a little bit cerebral in here because I don't have any videos, but our special teams coach is pretty much like a monotone meeting. It's early in the morning, and he'll watch the whole room and pretty much looking in the back to see if any eyes are falling out. And his main thing would be, hey, stand up and shake it out. So I'm gonna ask you guys to stand up and shake it out. You gotta stand up, shake it out. Like, just get the jitters out. Like, because presentations, guys can only listen. Okay, you guys can be seated. But presentations, you can only absorb so much information in a certain amount of time. So you gotta kind of reset the central nervous system so you can sit down and understand exactly what's going on, because this schedule that I'm presenting is, I won championships with this. And like I played in 2 Super Bowls. My rookie year, I was fortunate enough to be able to play in the Super Bowl. Yeah, we had great talent, but we followed this regimen, and there was a strict discipline on what we did and how we carried ourselves as a team. But then we have treatment, then we have recovery meal. Like I say, that's pretty essential to be a great player in the NFL, because the NFL is like a marathon. It's not a sprint. We have 16 games in the season, and then the playoffs is 4 games, and on top of that, we have 4 preseason games. So if you count that, that's 24 games to get to the Super Bowl. So it's a long season, and you have to be prepared for it. And the preseason is 6 weeks. So we start 2 weeks before the first preseason game, then we go on, we play 4 preseason games, and then we get out of the hotel maybe like a week before the last preseason game. So a lot of people say like, y'all have a lot of time off. Like, the time off is essential to be able to play football in the National Football League because you can't do it year round. You can't. And we have an off day on Tuesday. On Tuesday, well, throughout the week, we are scheduled to lift 3 times a week. On Monday counts as 1 lift. The recovery lift counts as 1 lift, but we have to have 2 lifts in before Friday. So that's essential. Like we got it. Our coach has to check us off the list and make sure we lift it. There's 1 upper body lift and 1 lower body lift. But a lot of guys like to come in on Tuesday on their off day and get a lift in just so they don't have a workload as far as on Wednesday and Thursday. They like to come in and get it early. That way they only have 1 lift on Wednesday or Thursday. And on Wednesday pretty much resets the week. Like that's the start of a new week. Like for you guys, Monday is the start of a new week. In the NFL, Wednesday is the start of a new week. Because our coaches, pretty much all day and night on Tuesday, they're throwing in the game plan. Like that's their day. It's almost like teacher work day. So they're putting the whole entire game plan in for the week so that we're able to be successful. But they keep working, but that's pretty much their work day. The players are not in the building and they're going over the game plan. And on Wednesday when we come in, we have breakfast, treatment, group 1, they lift, and we got a team meeting. And we go over each individual objective on what we think. We go over their player personnel. Like I'll show you later on in the presentation, but we go over each individual player from special teams all the way down to their backups on offense, defense. We go over everybody, all the personnel on their team, who we may face, what we may face, what they think may be good against us. Like we go over that top to bottom. All right, so we meet a lot, and then we go out to practice on Wednesday, and this is our attire on Wednesday. It's the simple spider pads and helmets. And we wear these pads because I know he showed you, Coach AJ, he showed you guys like the video of college athletes. Well, we practice like that without pads. Like the stuff that they do with pads, we do that without pads. And all we have is a simple spider pads on. And I think that is an essential part of playing football because it actually teaches you to stay off the ground. And our coaches say a lot of the times, stay off the ground. That's very important to playing football. The less you're off the ground, the more productive you can be as a player. So when we're in this, if you're on the ground, you're wrong. And we don't like to go and do head-on-head collision because in the game we have head-on-head collision. But this type of structure and setting of playing football has evolved the game. It's made the game safer, and that's why they can incorporate so many different rules in the game as far as hitting with our head because everything is strategic. We break it down full speed with no pads. And you have to have great technique. You got to be in great football position. You have to be almost precise on everything that you do. It's not like a game where we just run around hitting each other. And the game it's like Ferraris versus Volkswagens racing in a race. Like the Volkswagen, you're gonna hear it ticking. But a Ferrari, you know what I mean? That's what it sounds like. And if a Rex is gonna be like a major collision, it's not gonna be crumbled up like it's Ferrari. And you can't take a Ferrari out of the garage every day and run it on the Autobahn 200 kilometers an hour every day. Like we do that on Sundays. That's what Sundays are for. But we're very precise. We do our fine tuning. We get our oil change. We do everything. We're fine tuning high octane athletes. Then after practice, everybody come up on coach. He tell everybody what they think. He say, this is what I think about practice. We need to do this better. We got to take this out. And then we have group 2 lift for the guys that didn't lift in the morning. They will lift after practice. And we got special teams meeting. Coach will go in and he'll pretty much talk about everything that we did at practice. We'll watch practice after practice. Then we'll split up in the OD meeting. Special teams. I'm a special teams captain at Jacksonville Jaguars, in case you guys didn't know. Like, we don't get a lot of love in the NFL, but we're like the most underrated but marquee guys. Like we get like maybe like an hour's worth of meeting time every day. And then the offense and defense, they probably get a total of, I believe, like 5-6 hours of meeting time to go over everything that they do in the game. But this is pretty much a breakdown of what an in-season schedule game plan would look like on a Wednesday. So we'll pretty much break down our defenses for personnel. In 12 personnel, we'll say we're gonna run cover 3 and cover 4 versus them in 12 personnel. It's because whatever route tree they like to run, whatever run plays they like to run. But our coaches, we have such great talent. We kept it very generic. Everything was like, we got good athletes, we're coached, we're trained, and I'll give you the alignment, the assignment, and the technique that I want you guys to use on defense. But if you guys aren't at the ball, or if you guys aren't in the frame of the play at the end of the play, then you're wrong. I'm giving you a minus on your grade sheet. So, and they will break down everything like the checks. We would check bone versus bone. We'll check wing 4, going back to quarters. 21 personnel, pretty much similar. It's pretty much all the same defenses we run. We run probably like 3 or 4 defenses the entire game. But we play at a high level, and we check different packages versus different formation, and we disguise looks. It's very simple. Like, the game of football is very, very simple. Like, I've been around a lot of great coaches, I've been on a lot of great defenses, and our coach always said, if you can say ABC 1, 2, 3, you can play for me. Because you gotta fit the A gap, you gotta fit the B gap, and you gotta fit the C gap. The only other time you get a D and the E gap is if they bring 2 tight ends, they motion 2 tight ends over, or they bring a Z, they cut the Z down and split the cracky. But other than that, you fit in those 3 gaps, and you count the 3. And then in the route tree, you count from outside in, 1, 2, 3. A lot of times, they may do quads every now and then, but if you count the 1, 2, 3, it's very simple. And then we have reminders for, like, we come out in different personnel groupings. So if they come out in 11, 12, or 22 personnel, like from the film study, the coach would break down maybe like 10 games. I mean, each coach is different. Some coaches break down 7 games, some coaches break down the whole season. But I mean, you have to get it done like with your staff and your personnel, like that's what you guys talk about. 11, 12, and 22 personnel for this team, this prospective team. If they were under center on the pistol formation, it was like 80, 90% run. So we knew if there was 11, 12 personnel and the quarterback came under center, we better get ready to run the ball. The offensive line, they rolling off the ball. You know, that's what we broke down on film. And that makes us play like that. Now we practice this all week and we rep it all week, but we know that they come out in 11, 12, or 22 personnel and the quarterback under center, or if they're in pistol, it's a heavy run. Now, they may hit you with a play-action pass, but that's where your football instincts and your football IQ has to kick in because you're trained to do it. And like 11 personnel, speed GO is a pass. That's a formation. I can't draw it up right now. I wish I could, but there's different formations that they tell you different stuff. As you can see at the bottom, I'm reading on the bottom where it says reminders. And this would be like a study sheet for your players. Then on Thursday we will come in. It's pretty much same schedule. It's pretty much a routine. I would do it the same day every day. It's cerebral, where it becomes muscle memory in a sense. Like it's very simple. Like you want to be able to walk on the field and not have to worry about anything. Just like, I'm about to get to this ball. That's what you want to do. You want to be able to line up. The schedule is pretty much the same throughout the week. And we'll practice full pads throughout the season. We'll have uppers, shoulder pads, and shorts on the lower pad. Could y'all stand up and shake it out again? I know I'm kind of getting cerebral, but it's relatively easy, man. I'm just being honest with y'all. You can learn football all day. Really much the communication. Y'all can sit down. Thank you. I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet. Well, we'll pretty much go through that same routine on Thursday. Then that's what on Thursday we'll put in the 3rd down package and the short yard package and their 2nd down passes. And we'll put in our D-line games, our stunts, the text, tom, cover, exit, stuff like that. as y'all can see. And on Friday is where we put everything together. We put what we learned on Wednesday and we learned on Thursday. We put it all together. And Friday we come out in spiders and helmets as well. And it's just a quick practice, just an hour and a half, just to kind of get you ready, just fine tune and just going out, getting your tires slicked up as a race, like you about to get ready to race. That's pretty much what Friday is. And this is what a Friday practice looks like. This is actually an image in the Super Bowl, the Friday before the Super Bowl. We played in the Super Bowl in 2015 in San Francisco at Stanford. Then also on Friday, we have recovery stations. And recovery stations, in Jacksonville, they mandated that we do at least 3 recovery stations. And when we mean recovery stations, like I say, recovery is essential to play in the game of football. Because even though you guys may practice, I just want to kind of hypothetically kind of tell you how you guys can incorporate it. One of the days you use for practice, maybe you practice for an hour and then you let the guys recover. Like get stretching in, flexibility, foam rolling, anything that the guy needs. Because if his hamstring is tight, I don't know what day you guys play, but if his hamstring is tight on Wednesday, and then you guys play on Saturday, and you guys didn't address it on Wednesday, he probably 9 times out of 10 probably gonna go in the game on Saturday and fucking blow out his hamstring. But you could have addressed it earlier in the week. So recovery is very essential to playing the game of football. And this is what a Friday would look like. We'll also put the red zone in on Friday. What guys do in the red zone, put our red zone in. It's pretty simple. All our game plan, the play calling is the same. Like it just, we disguise it and make it look different on the game, just to fuck with the quarterback's eyes. But on Saturday is just helmets. There's no helmets, just jerseys and shorts. We go in, go over our stuff. It's quick, real quick. We probably practice like 45 minutes to an hour. Just go out there and go over the plays on everything that we put in through the week and just get ready for the game, go over our communication issues, the quarterback, the players, we go over everything. We pretty much script everything from 2-minute all the way to victory, to kneeling the ball at the end of the game on a win. We go through everything. It's pretty much like we're getting set to go for like a play, like we're doing like a Main Street play. And we come after that meeting, if we had a home game, we'll go to the hotel for meetings again, and we'll meet and go over all the film and everything we did. Sometimes we may watch the film on the walkthrough, but 9 times out of 10, we're probably watching the other teams and getting prepared and just seeing those guys and going over their personnel, just seeing anything that we missed during the week and just pretty much just refreshing our brain. We pretty much play the game before we play the game. Like we pretty much know, the coaches pretty much have a great idea whether we're going to win the game or not before we even play, because they know how confident their players practice. They know everything what their players do. They say, oh, we fit this right, we fit that right. Of course, every team is going to throw a couple wrinkles in here and there, but we address that on the sideline. We address that on the sideline during the game, because after you iron out the wrinkles that they throw at you, they got to go back to their bread and butter, because they only had the same amount of practice time that you guys had. And we'll have mass in chapel. Like I said, that's very important to the NFL as well. All right, for the Catholics, we had mass at night, and then for the Christians, we had chapel. So that was, like, religion is very important. You have a freedom to religion in the U.S. I don't know how it is here, but I mean, that's very important I think it's very important to life. And then this is what a game sheet would look like, what our defensive coordinator would have. Like, that's pretty much everything that goes from what we learned on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And you all incorporate it all into one game sheet. And that's what it would look like going into the game. So say for this, for instance, you give your players one of these, you give them a call sheet. Now, when they go home and they watch film on Huddle, they're able to know what you're going to call in certain situations to the certain personnel. So now they can play the game before they even play the game. Like, they go home, watch film, and they're going through the play call. Like, coach going to call this, coach going to call that. They know exactly what you're going to call. And they're playing the game before you get to the game. And these are tendencies for certain teams. We go over tendencies. It's just a study sheet just for your players. and so your players have something to study off of, just to simplify the game for your players. Because like I said, football is really a simple game. Like the plays and stuff that you guys give to them, they should know that like the back of their hand. But each week you want to give them tendencies of the other team so that they're able to go out and play fast. And this is one of the note keys that we have for the week of first and second down. Like I'll go down on like 100 on first and second down. It's pretty much a balanced attack. But what sticks out, like I said, is under center. It's 28-9. That's just from coaches breaking down film. You know, pistol, that jumps out, that sticks out. That's a heavy statistic. You know, you got to play certain formations honest, but those stick out of everything. Like it goes, and that formula pretty much goes down the line on personnel groupings. But so this is what we would go through on Wednesday when we start our new week. When we go against an opposing offense, this is what we will see. We will come in, and our personnel guys, they will go over each individual player from the team. So they will go down and they'll say, hey, Greg Olsen went to the University of Miami. He's a hell of a fucking player. He's a tight end. If you got him in coverage, you better have his shit ready. Him and Cam Newton, they got good chemistry. They say you better have your shit packed. They say the right tackle, Mike Rimmers, a former practice squad guy. He's probably the weakest link on their O-line. It's a guy that we feel like we can take advantage of. Trey Turner, they would say he has good hand placement, but he doesn't sit back as well. And if you give him speed, he's threatened by speed, and you can get around his edge. They'll say Ryan Khalil, he's a great player, has a brother that's in the NFL. He's a solid player. They'll go ahead and say Andrew Norwell. So he came in the league as an undrafted free agent. He's a solid center. I think he's a good overall player. Went to Ohio State. He actually plays for the Jacksonville Jaguars now, but this was the sheet what we looked at before we played in Super Bowl 50 as we went down the line. And they'll say Michael Orr. Everybody knows Michael Orr. They made a movie about him. And coach would just pretty much just make a joke out of him. Fucking give his fat ass a hamburger. You know, and Corey Brown is a guy. He has a pretty decent route tree. He's an undrafted free agent. He likes to run a lot of over routes. He likes to run a lot of digs. They'll pretty much give you the concepts in which they utilize these guys. Say Jonathan Stewart, he's an overall good running back. He has good speed. He's a one cut downhill runner. And they'll go to William Tolbert. He's a fullback. They use him as a running back, but he's a good blocker. He's a willing blocker. He's not afraid to stick his head down in there. He's a short yardage back at best. Then they'll say Ted again. He doesn't have a route tree, but he'll fucking blow the tops off you if you let him. So maybe you should loosen up a little bit and just kind of stay back because he has world-class speed. And they'll say Cam Newton. He pretty much runs their offense. But if you get under his skin, we can take advantage of their team. But this is one of the quotes that we kind of go by and I kind of live throughout. Perfection is not attainable, but if we chase perfection, we can catch excellence. And that's by the famous Vince Lombardi. And that's what I kind of wanted to end that on. Like just take a picture of that and just kind of chase perfection. Because none of us are perfect. The only perfect man that ever came on this earth was Jesus Christ. But if we chase perfection, we'll fall short and we'll have excellence. And I'm actually doing a football camp here with AFS 24/7 for whoever want to come out, and I can get more in depth with you guys as far as the technique and what we need to do. Like I'm an outside linebacker defensive guy, but I just want to kind of implement some drills to whoever you guys decide to bring out, because that's one of my greatest assets is coaching technique. I love coaching technique. I'm not an X's and O's guys. I like guys to play fast. That's who I am. Like if you playing fast and you get into the ball, you can play all day. I want you to play like your hair on fire. Hey, and I'd like to say thank you to Andy and Martin just for having me here, and I appreciate my time with you guys. It's been a great time. Thank you guys.